Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. How are you all today? Good? Okay? Everybody alive? If you're not alive, don't raise your hand. Let's see. 9%. Okay, let's see. Who is on my left? Who is new here today? Which of you who have not... have you introduced yourself over here? You have? Introduced before? Okay. How about the rest? All introduced? Okay. That guy? The gentleman? Have you introduced yourself?
I'm just here today to... Actually, the reason I'm here is after the call, I went to consult you about something. About Buddhism.
Tell us your name.
Risi. So, I think you know me before. Yeah.
What's your name again?
Risi.
Secondary
school.
Ticketek,
Yeah.
That's why I thought you looked familiar. Vesak, right? Scouts, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Hello.
So maybe after the teaching I can just, if you have some time, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Wow, how many years? 1989, since we graduated. Haven't seen you since. Yeah. So almost 30 years already. Wow. Okay. You know Jihok, right? Zifu. Jihok. Who else? Dongsen. Okay. Good. Okay, on my left, my right, who is here for the first time and hasn't introduced yourself? You have probably introduced a long time ago. Yeah, so you can introduce again.
Hello, my name is Janice. I used to attend SGC long time ago, like 2-3 years ago, but since then I'm unable to attend because of some volunteer commitments on Sundays. But today is my off day, so
Good. For a while I thought it was the Bhutan withdrawal syndrome.
also that.
A bit of that. Okay. Come.
Hi everyone, I'm Tracy. I'm one of the Bhutan withdrawal symptoms. I'm here because I think, partly from the Bhutan trip, I love the Dharma. I think Dharma has guided me a lot, and I've attended Shifu's teaching classes before. So I think it's time that I should come back and find back the spirit in me again. Yeah. So that's what I'm here today.
Good. Who else has not introduced herself before? How about let me see, the lady at the corner?
Hello everybody, my name is Wendy. This is the second time I'm attending Shifu's talk.
How do you get to know about this group cultivation?
From your FB.
Okay, I see. And when was the first time?
It was in December. I attended the Sutra retreat.
Okay, Heart Sutra retreat. I see. Welcome. And the lady after her? Yes, after her.
Hello everyone, I'm Kim. I follow my friend here.
Follow your friend?
About this, so
Who is your friend?
really.
Okay. I see. Welcome. And the gentleman after her?
here, followed my family.
Okay, welcome, welcome. And then the lady, I think at the aisle seat. Introduced before? Introduced before. Okay, the rest are all season parking holder. All right, very good. Welcome, welcome to SGC. Well, clap. Where we have a bit of puja and a bit of sitting, and then quite a bit of Dhamma sharing. Yes. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks already? 2 weeks since coming back from Bhutan. The chat is still quite active. Ganga. So when we were in Bhutan, we had 2 lovely guides, yeah, who are Bhutanese. One of them is named Ganga, yeah, as in the Ganga River. Ganges, we usually in English we say Ganges River, yeah, Ganga. And the other guide, his name is Karma, yeah, that Karma. Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of funny encounters and incidences. He's continued to send us lovely pictures to remind us of how lovely Bhutan is, and inevitably remind us how lacking Buddhist Singapore is. Hello. Yeah, so we had this joke about the participants going into withdrawal. Yeah. But back we are. Every year, there are many individuals who go to different countries for what we would call pilgrimage. Yeah. In Buddhism, is there such a practice? Is there such a practice? In the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the Buddha actually mentioned 4 locations, 4 places to which faithful Buddhists, faithful layman, laywoman can go and visit. And through that, they may arouse faith and confidence in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And the 4 locations are the birthplace of the Buddha, which is at Lumbini. Yeah. The second is the place where the Buddha attained enlightenment, which is at Buddhagaya, at Rajgir. And then the third place is where the teachings were first given at Sarnath to the 5 ascetics. And then the last place is at Kushinagar, where the Buddha passed away into Parinibbana. Yeah. These 4 places is henceforth then known as the 4 holy sites. Yeah. Today's talk is about aspirations and wishes. Yeah. So it's somewhat linked to going on pilgrimages. Yeah, because usually on pilgrimages then a lot of devotees, when they go on pilgrimages, they'll be so inspired, and then they'll make all kinds of aspirations. And after they come back, they're like, what did I make? Yeah. When you go to a faraway place, and then you see buildings, you see marks, you see writings left behind by people who come before us. Yeah? People living in conditions that is unimaginable to us, going through hardships that we can only, we cannot even fathom. Yeah? And we start to wonder, what drove them to such lengths? Yeah? For many people, that's very inspiring. And as a result, we become inspired to perhaps follow the shadow, yeah? Follow the footsteps of these great masters and even the holy ones, including and ultimately the Buddha. Yeah? who is an example for us. Oh, 你要给我吗？你找错妈妈了呀？It's okay, let's just let him stay. Yeah. And so then individually, sometimes individuals would make aspirations. And during the trip, I also encourage the participants to make aspirations. Yeah. So there was one place, there were a few places where the guides actually told us that, oh, this is a very holy place. And in this place, it is very special. So special, in fact, I don't know whether Bhutan will come after me. In fact, in a few of the shrine halls, the statues were reputed to have spoken. The statue actually spoke. Yeah. I didn't really quite notice, but I think a lot of the participants were all dumbfounded, like jaw drop. The statue actually spoke. Yeah, until they turned around and saw my expression. My expression was basically like, and then I waited for either Ganga or Karma to finish the sharing. Then I asked them like, so what did the statue say? Yeah. Apparently unfazed and untouched by the fact that the statue actually spoke. Yeah. Because you see, the two of them don't really know me. I mean, they only know me in this trip. Yeah. If they had known me more, they probably would just skip the talking part. Yeah, because I'm not a person who is so easily wowed. Yeah, I'm a very skeptical person. Yeah, but the fact that I just asked about what was said was already a very, very toned down response. I didn't even go into questioning like, are you sure it spoke? Yeah, but I just assumed that, okay, if you say that it spoke, I'm not going to question that. I'm going to just go along with that. Yeah. And then ask the next most important question, which is, what did it say? Because you see, like imagine if you're at home, and at the middle of the night you wanted to go to pee, and then as you walk past the main hall and your living room, and then the Guan Yin菩萨statue suddenly made a sound. The first important thing you need to ask is like, wait, come again? If the Guan Yin菩萨image just say, hi. Like, okay, so then what would be your response? Your response would be like, hello? And then if the statue again said, hi, like just imagine if this really happened. Okay, has it happened for anyone? No, right? But imagine if it really happens, okay? Yeah, imagine at home your Buddha statue or Guan Yin菩萨statue, whatsoever, actually said hi. Maybe not in the middle of the night, quite spooky. Maybe in a day, yeah? You finish work, you come back home, and then you pay respect, and then you finish, and then, hi. Now imagine if all it keep on saying is hi. Then after a while, what will happen? A few days later, as you walk past, hi, you just treat it as those dong dong. You just treat it as those motion sensor. Yeah? Because if that's all the statue said, then after a while it's just a novelty that wears off. What's more important is what it said. Did it go beyond just a hi? Did it give something that can uplift you? Did it say something that can enlighten you? Yeah. In much the same way, we celebrate the Buddha's birth, not because it, was able to speak. Yeah, if it just takes 7 steps. Last week we were talking about that. If it takes 7 steps and just say hi, if it said what it said, the Buddha, the Prince Siddhartha was said to have said that in this world, with the, in this world, with this Mara, Brahma, and so on and so forth, there's no one who is my equal, and so on and so forth. Anyone can make such proclamation. Anyone. You can as well. I mean, if you like to, we can go on camera and put on YouTube. But to make good that claim, that's different. To come up and say, in this life I shall conquer death. Anyone can say that. Anyone can say, I'm the awakened one, I am the Buddha. Anyone can say that. But to make good that claim, that's something. That's something. And so when Ganga and Karma told us about the talking statue, I was a bit unversed and I was like, so what did he say? And then they couldn't tell me what he said. In fact, he didn't know as well. Because you see, most people are too impressed with the fact that the statue actually spoke. Gosh, can I touch the statue? Can I just even... So I suspect, for all I care, it probably spoke. And perhaps it actually said some Dharma. But everybody was just so impressed with the fact that it actually spoke. Nobody remembered what it said. I don't know. But you notice that after that, with subsequent ones, they just said that it spoke and they just went past that. Yeah. So think again, next time when you go to some place, whether Bhutan or otherwise, and then people tell you, oh, this statue spoke. Or in some cases, this statue actually drink milk. I'm like, I drink milk all the time, what don't you like? Okay, not all the time. Whenever people offer me that, actually. Yeah. We're very fortunate to be in Singapore because we can laugh about this and not get killed or stoned or, And we're very fortunate because this is Buddhism, so no lightning bolt coming down. But at some point, then they mentioned about how because of that, those shrine halls were very holy, and so whatever wishes you make is going to come true. Yeah. And again, with many other groups, when they say that, all the participants were probably like almost knee weak and then melting and then just bowing down. And if there was a camera capturing the event and then pan over, and then the moment he finished saying, you know what I said? I said, I wish that Ganga will become a monk. And then strangely enough, at the next one, Karma was supposed to share, and he with a flat face, with a straight face, he actually said the same thing, and I said the same thing again. I wish that Karma would become monk, and all of them just go like, yeah. Because anytime anyone make a very bold claim, you need very strong supporting evidence or something really strong to back it up. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah. They make the claim that whatever wish you make will come true. So I just made a wish.
Mama just sent a message and I just told him that you wish he becomes a monk.
For a while I thought Krishna is telling me that Karma just texts that he has become a monk. Then we should all fly back to that shrine hall. Yeah, I remember the one that I made this was, it was the one where we go all the way up and the shrine hall was super cold. And then we came back down and then we took a group photo. But before we took the group photo, then Karma made that statement. I was like, I wish that... You see what's happening here? You see, when he said that you can make a wish here and it will come true, and I just randomly make a wish. And I do not have to it doesn't even have to involve me, number one, at all. The result is not even about me. And the process doesn't involve me at all. It's like how, in those beauty pageant, nothing against women, but so far beauty pageants tend to be women. It is so racist, No, not so sexist. So sexist. Yeah? Why can't we have beauty pageant with guys? Oh, there? Manhunt. You see, it's called manhunt. It's not a beauty pageant, it's a manhunt. You're hunting for a man. Yeah. They should call it, I don't know, like what? I don't know. But usually in those, then they'll ask like, what do you wish for? Oh, I wish that there'll be world peace. Yeah. Anyone can wish that. You can wish that every day. Yeah, but she don't have to naturally carry it out. And that's the thing about wishes. Yeah. I can wish that Ganga become a monk. And then he's put into the conundrum. Yeah. But who is supposed to make the wish happen? Yeah. I'm sure all of you have made wishes at some well, some water fountain, yeah, under some tree. In Mahabodhi temple in Rashkir, there's that Mahabodhi temple itself, and then the Bodhi tree next to it, and there's one more which is further apart. There are so many Indian rupee, US dollars, and Sing dollar, and Thai baht, and currencies of all kinds. You could set up an exchange over there. People would throw all kinds of currencies in, and then make a wish. Some of them maybe make an aspiration. Yeah, so vows, aspirations, and wishes. What's the difference? Yeah, the key difference is that wishes does not require us to be involved. Yeah. Whereas for aspirations, you are directly responsible, not just involved, but responsible for making it happen. An aspiration is an indication of your end goal. Yeah. It's like writing out a plan. The 4-step. The first stage, envisioning and planning. And then second step, development. Third step, deployment or execution. Last step, review. Yeah. Making an aspiration is like the first step. Of course, there are those who say like, oh, but consultants just do the planning and they don't do anything after that. But making aspirations is all about making good that plan. Yeah, making good that plan. The fact that we are celebrating Vesak is because the Buddha made good his aspiration. It started off way back, several eons before. Back in a time where there was actually a different Buddha who was present. For all we know, maybe we were around. Yeah. Can you all remember? Anyone? Can anyone remember what you ate last Wednesday morning or afternoon? So we cannot even remember last Wednesday. Yeah. Can you remember the meal we had at the Tiger Nest Lake? No, not Tiger Nest Lake. Tiger Nest Temple. The Tiger Nest that in between that. Yeah. 维园怎么结束了? Huh? What? Yeah. We are forgetful. Yeah. But according to the text, according to what the Buddha recounted to us, it was way back in the time of Buddha Dipankara, Ranten 4. 与燃灯佛所。我听到了。爸爸，我听不到。没关系，没关系，大家一起听。爸爸去吧，去，给。So, when the Buddha, as a Bodhisattva, at that point in time, he saw Buddha Dipankara, he made the aspiration. Yeah. If I don't recall wrongly, he offered his hair over the floor for Buddha Dipankara to walk over. And then with that, he made the aspiration to become a Buddha. Yeah. And Buddha Dipankara in turn affirmed his aspiration and make the declaration that in due time, this Bodhisattva shall attain Buddhahood. Yeah. So, after that, it is the after that is crucial. Yeah, there's the after the aspiration and before the aspiration that today I want to share about. The before the aspiration is faith and confidence. Faith and confidence. Faith and confidence in what? Faith and confidence in the end goal, the result. You must have faith and confidence in the result before you would even make an aspiration to achieve that. But faith and confidence in what sense? Faith and confidence in the presence, in the truth of such a result. Yeah. Take for example, when we meditated earlier, yeah. Do you know why you are meditating? Some of you, yes, I know. Some of you, huh? You mean we meditated earlier? We just close our eyes and then, yeah. For many people today, people meditate for various reasons. Not everybody meditate for the same reasons. Yeah. Some people meditate because they feel stressed at work, and then they hear their friends tell them about it. Some even hear it from their doctors who advise them to meditate. So they decided to try it out. But not everybody would try out simply because they hear about it. What is the difference? The difference is that they have not developed faith for what is being described. So how many kinds of faith are there? There are 3 kinds of faith described. 现在是 Bante, okay. Yeah. So the 3 types. 信实有, 信有德, 信有能. So the first is faith in its existence. That whatever is described does exist. The second is faith in the merits of it. And here merits, don't think too spiritually. Yeah, merits basically means value. Yeah, that something has value. I'm putting it in a way that it will make more sense to most of us. Yeah, because sometimes when you think merits, well, then you think complicated, and then next life. Yeah, merits basically means that. Yeah, that something has merits, it means something has value. And the last of the faith is actually very crucial as well. 信有能. And this is the difference between the first 2 and the last one. The first 2 is about the external goal. The third one is about ourselves. 信有能. Faith that we have the ability to achieve that goal. So if I were to use an example, meditation. Regardless of why we meditate, yeah, starting from a very worldly pursuit. Let's say, oh, I'm stressed at work. Yeah, a person is stressed at work and then hears from a doctor, hears from a friend, oh, there is something called meditation. And when you meditate, you do this, do that, do this, do that, and then your stress will be reduced. So, in terms of the faith that I've described, then it is faith that it is possible to have lesser stress. And number two, that meditation can give you that result. Yeah, that meditation really have that value, can bring that value to your life. Now, as to why you would have faith in that or believe that or not, that's another thing. It could be because it's said by a doctor. It could be because your friend said it. And it is because maybe your friend looks very calm. Yeah. Or maybe because your friend used not to be very calm and then recently become very calm. And then you're like, hey, tell me, what's your secret? You really want to know? Yeah, tell me. Sure not? Hey, 不交朋友. My friend, meditate. Oh, wow. So, then after that, even after you hear that your friend can, describe that, then as you hear about the description, oh, you must sit, cross-legged, this and that, then you're like, then you may start. You may either like that, so easy, can lah. Or you may then wonder, wow, that sounds not so trivial. I don't think I can sit quietly for a long time, Yeah. And this part is before you even try. Yeah. For many people, before even trying something, we start to have question mark. Yeah. We have doubt about it. And the only way to overcome that is then maybe you hear from this friend, you hear from another friend. If your friend was always calm, yeah, and you are worse off than him before, then just because your friend can do it, you may not have the confidence that you can do it. Then later, this friend A tell you, "Aiya, don't worry. Do you remember Ah-Seng or not? Ah-Seng, what happened to him? Remember how he is? Worse than you. Now every week he go meditation, no? Wow, really? Then when you hear of other people's example, that those who are usually not able to sit still, they're able to sit. Then in return you wonder, if he can do it, why can't I do it? Then you may have confidence in yourself. And after this three initial confidence, then you may make an aspiration that, maybe I would like to go and try. Aspiration is not as complicated as we may think, in Chinese we can say 发愿, yeah, 发愿. Sometimes also known as to make a vow. So when we hear vow or aspiration, then we may think that, there must be a ceremony, a very elaborate ritual, or then offer incense, then maybe kill a dog. No, don't kill. Buddhist aspiration don't need to kill dog or to kill pig or kill goat or cow or chicken. No, don't have to kill anything, okay? If there's anything you need to kill, is to kill your inertia, yeah, is to kill your laziness, is to kill your doubt. Yeah, that's what you need to kill. Yeah. Other than that, you don't have to kill anything. And aspiration making, you don't need to go through a very elaborate process. Just thinking, maybe I want to try. That's making aspiration already, Yeah. Even though at the start you never say Namo Pansis, nothing religious. You just think, maybe I want to try. Just this is an aspiration. Don't think later of this kind of thought. Maybe I want to try. Because aspiration starts off in this way. Bit by bit, when you think, when you even without saying it out, when you hear the description and you have enough confidence that you delight in it, you're like, wow. In the same way as now we are back from Bhutan. On the very last, is it the last night? We had the sharing. Yeah. And some of them shared about how they have been wanting to go Bhutan. And the moment they hear that there's the Bhutan trip, and it's led by Shifu, then immediately, okay, go. So, before we even say it out, just the delight in the mind, that's inclining already. And all this is the build-up. And that's why sometimes I even tell students, if you just say the words, for example, our standard dedication, which is actually aspiration making. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，不愿罪障悉消除，世事常行菩萨道. Actually, every week you are making aspirations. But these 4 verses, for most people, would have lesser impact than when you see a newspaper ad, when you see a Facebook advertisement about a new product, or a new getaway destination. When SQ come up with 1-for-1 special package to Paris. When we see that, and then our heart leap up. That energy, I would tell you, for most people, I don't say all of you, maybe all of you connect stronger with 愿消三障诸烦恼. SQ, who cares? Paris, who cares about that? Tokyo, Japan, Shinjuku, what is this? I want to go to Pure Land. Dongdaemun, what is Dongdaemun? Korea, who cares about that? Maybe. But for many people, unlike you, when they see that small little advertisement on their phone, that energy, that mental energy leaping out has much more power than when they recite 愿消三障诸烦恼. I say that it's more powerful. It doesn't mean that the 愿消三障诸烦恼 has no power. It's just that it's less powerful. So that's why I have to make you all recite so many times. Only hoping that you accumulate 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, one day you reach 100%. Whereas for most people, when they see the advertisement, immediately 3,000% come out. Wow. Buy, immediately. And why would anyone seeing advertisements have that kind of strong mental energy? And it's basically because all the advertisements and marketing and so on, it has created that delight, that interest, that confidence, that faith. Now, if you hear of some obscure place that no one has talked about, Timbuktu. Have you heard of Timbuktu? Or actually some of you nowadays. When I was in university back in the 90s, and one of these professor, Dr. Abdul Wahab, he always talked about Timbuktu. At the point I'm like, what is this place? If someone tell you that you can go Timbuktu, yeah, for free, would you go? You'd be like, go there for what? Yeah. What if someone tell you that Timbuktu is actually one of the city, quite an obscure city in London? For free walk. Then I can always just swing by to London. You know, other place ma. But why would something like London, London, six letters, why would that stir so much? It's because of all the exposures have had before. And that's why the Buddhist practices, many times we call that rituals. Yeah? Or the puja. It's actually not meant to be rituals. It's to familiarize ourselves with the path and the goal. To describe to us, to tell us about the merits. Yeah? You see the 赞佛记. Yeah? All the 赞佛记, the praise, the verses in praise of the Buddha, yeah, is to praise not just the Buddha, but the outcome of those practices. So that as we hear about it, and then we reflect on it, then we might have confidence that, wow, that sounds pretty good, you know. Yeah, that sounds quite awesome. Maybe I'd like to try. And then from there, the confidence gives rise to delight, and the delight gives rise to making an aspiration. And then the aspiration fuels and guides our effort and practice. I think last week I've mentioned, and in the trip I've mentioned, 以愿导行, 以行满愿. That once we have reached the point where we make an aspiration, we must not stop there. With the aspiration, that guides our practice, what we do. After the Buddha let down his hair, and then, when he was a Bodhisattva, and then Buddha Dipankara walked over, and after that affirmed his aspiration, what did the Buddha back then as a Bodhisattva, what did he do after that? Did he go to the Buddha in waiting lounge? Yeah, those frequent flyer lounge. You just go there and wait. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Buddha to be. This way, please. Yeah, and then just sit down there and then, hey, what's your number? 32768. Oh, mine 248. Coming soon. Yeah. No. After that, that's where the real work starts, you know. All the Buddhas, their chief disciples, the Bodhisattvas, the Pachika Buddhas, after they make the aspiration, they start the real work, the tough work. Much like initially when you all raise the interest to go to Bhutan, then after that you all need to make some preparation. When the participants saw that there's tiger nest, some of them on, you know. Before the trip, they actually go and climb Bukit Timah Hill. They go and walk Marichi, walk a few more rounds. Then when they reach there, they realize, waste time. Tiger nest is... but it shows something, you know. That there's that anticipation. The preparation is in anticipation of the destination. In much the same way, when we make aspirations, it doesn't just end with that aspiration. It is actually the start. Whereas we make a wish, every year, I'm sure many people make many wishes. You just make a wish, then wait for it to come true. That's the difference. And then as we carry out, move forward from there, then repeatedly come back to our aspiration to check, is our direction correct? So in that sense, the aspiration is the what and the why. The prior to that is mostly the why, then it leads to the aspiration, which is the what, And practice is the how. So getting the why is very correct, is very important. Yeah. Why do you want to make such an aspiration? Which then leads to the, okay, what does it get you and others? And why is that important? It's because if your aspiration is something significant, it's probably not going to be easy. Yeah. So far I have not heard of anyone have a significant goal that was easy, that was convenient, that was simple. Yeah. And so, because it's not easy, it's not simple, it's not trivial or convenient, then along the way, you may encounter a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, a lot of people who will tell you why it's not going to happen, why it's a stupid idea. You know, all the great ideas start off as stupid ideas. Why? Because nobody else saw it. Yeah. And because they don't see it, so they think it's a stupid idea. Of course, sometimes our idea is really a stupid idea. Yeah. So how do you know, Because what are the chances, right? You are the only one who have this brilliant idea and everybody else is stupid. And blind. And then you are the only one. How many of you feel lucky today? Yeah. Because you think about it, the Buddha when he, in his last life, yeah, the historical Buddha, when he left the palace, even before he started cultivation, the fact that he left the palace, that was a crazy idea. To all the other princes and kings, they're like, I think he's lost it, man. You can imagine, I mean, it's not inside the suttas, but I'm just thinking out loud that you can imagine all the other princes, the other states. There are 16 states in the Buddha's time. Yeah, then King Bimbisara, when he heard, it's like, huh? What happened to Siddhartha? It's like, huh? He lost it. So you can imagine that for that first 6 years, everybody must be like, poor guy, man, couldn't take the stress. Like before he even ascended to the throne, he just, he was the guy who couldn't take the stress, couldn't handle it, just went rogue. And that's why you see that in the sutta, when he encountered some of them, King Pasenadi, he was like, he didn't immediately like, oh Buddha, oh, you're amazing. He was like, so, how's things going, And when the Buddha declared that he has attained awakening, that king was like, wow, that's a bold claim, There are so many senior ascetics around and none of them even dare to make such a claim. You are black hair, young, and like, yeah. In many ways, the Buddha was seen as a maverick. Yeah. Because he did something else that nobody else tried. Nobody else even thought about. So sometimes when you make an aspiration, some people have shared that, oh, Sifu, I don't think I can continue this, Because after a while, then I feel I'm the odd one out. None of my friends understand what I'm doing. They look at me like, I don't even know how to start with them, to tell them what I'm trying to do here. Yeah. And I'm not even talking about 就让他嘛，你不要一直约束他，让他自由，让他自由自在的飞起来吧。小孩，尽管的飞，你就飞给我们看。Yeah, I've had students who tell me that. Not just one, not just two, quite a few. Yeah. I mean, I myself, when I was in my 20s, it was not easy. Yeah. When you meet up with your peers and then they all drink and then you're like, Coke. When you go out with a girl and then to her friend's new pub, you know, and then her friend who is the owner come over and say, first drink on the house, what would you like to drink? And then you go like, Coke. And then her friend is like, bourbon, Coke? Okay, sure. I'm like, no, Coke. And her friend look at me and then look at her friend, and then my friend, this girl from law back then, she was like, not gonna get a second date, you know. So it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. And then best thing is, then, you know, so she ordered something else. Can't remember, maybe Corona or something. And then I drink my Coke. In due time you will know. You see, the thing is that the whole setting is, when we arrive at the pub, because she know the owner, so there was a long queue, and then there was this bouncer. When we arrived, the owner received us, it's like those Hollywood movies that, it's okay, go in, and then goes like, Coke. And the best thing is, at about 10 plus, my mom called me. Her mom didn't call her. Her dad left her alone. My mom called me. What time is it now? I'm like, Mom! Oh gosh, you can imagine. No, actually my mom didn't call me because I remember wrongly. Because I was still in uni, and so back then it was pager. My mom pitched me. And of course, if you're in your early 20s and mom pitched you like just switch off the pager, like what can she do it to you, right? I mean, that was in the 90s. No handphone, nobody can track you down, you know, like no GPS, whatever. But then, it's me we're talking about. If your mom pitched you, jolly well call back. So went to the bar counter, can I borrow the phone? Hello? Ma? Oh, this is like one of those stand-up jokes, you know, that really happened. So yeah, not exactly the easiest thing. And I'm not even aspiring, at that point in time, I was not even aspiring to become a monk or become Buddha, no. Just being a lay Buddhist. Yeah, simply because, I'm like, I'm going to observe the 5 precepts. Yeah. And then beyond that, there are so many times other friends would invite me to join them to go to a pub and drink, like Coke. I became known as the Coke guy. And it's not that Coke, it's a Coke. Yeah, and yes, you do get sidelined. Because after a while, it's no fun. Everybody, and then you're like, dun, 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 dun. You know, everybody mabuk, hi. Everybody look pretty and handsome, and then you're like, yeah, not much fun to have me around, you know, all awake. Yeah, I don't really mind going, honestly, but I don't hanker to go. Yeah, so if anybody back then, don't call me now. I'm not going there. Yeah, but back then, when people call me, I'll go. Yeah, as much as I would pay that $12, $20 Coke. Yeah. So I had this group of uni friends. We meet like once a week after we started working. And they drink. One guy smoked, but he don't smoke in front of us. He was finished all his puffing and then he'll join us. The rest of them all drink. And we'll go to pubs, they will drink, I'll have my Coke, and we'll split the bill, you know. And you see, the thing is that with a drink, you know, you can drink quite a few glasses. Coke, like, they give you this like It's not the shot. Like nobody drink Coke shot. One more Coke. It's one glass of Coke. It can last you for the whole night. Yeah, at most you have 2. Yeah, and then after we split the bill. Yeah. But I don't mind. It's for the company. But yeah, so yes, it's not going to be easy. Oh, and then later I become a vegetarian as well. And then they would go to Marina Square, Marina South. Marina South, before they build up the place, there's a whole series of the steamboat. Yeah. And we'll go to a steamboat, and it's not vegetarian steamboat, no. It's a normal steamboat. And I will make a beeline to the cha bee hoon. And I'll bring back one big plate of cha bee hoon, one mountain. Yeah. And we will split the bill. Yeah. But we continued to hang out all the way until I left for US to join the monastery. So yeah, even back then, just a simple wish to observe the precepts. Nothing big deal. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Yeah, but you need to sort out the why first. Why you want to do this? Because the what and the how is usually not complicated. Yeah. But as long as you have not sorted out the why you want to do this, then you always come back to gnaw you, to trouble you, to make you question yourself, question the path, question the practice, question the teacher, question even Buddha maybe. Yeah. Middle of night, you down there, no, I didn't do this, maybe you will do this. Why you come out this rule? But if you sort out the why first, know clearly why you are doing it, then even when everybody around you disagree, yeah, you are okay. Doesn't mean that you must fight with them. In fact, the clearer you are about why you are doing it, the less likely you will fight with them. You won't see a point of fighting with them because you see clearly they don't know the why. Yeah. And you see clearly it's because they don't know the why, that's why they fight with you over the how and the what. Yeah. And as long as you have sorted that out, then every so-called hurdle, obstacle, obstruction will just be another step forward. To those who have sorted out the why, they know clearly why they are doing it. Anything that comes along is just another step to take. But if you have not sorted out the why, any step that come along for you to take will become a reason why you shouldn't do it. Too many times. And it's not just about spiritual path, even for worldly pursuits. Too many times I've attended committee meetings in different societies and organizations, and people stop short. Not because of the why. It's never the why. They end up getting stuck at the how. Yeah. Precisely because they haven't sorted out the why. But they don't realize that. And then they'll say that, oh, it's too expensive. I don't have time. I'm too tired. It's too difficult. I don't know how to do it. Yeah. I never heard of any mother who say, I can't have kids. Why? Because I don't know how to do it. I'm talking about the delivery process. Like, you know what I mean? How many mothers, before you have kids, you know how to deliver a kid? You don't know. But you're going to figure it out. You're not going to say, I don't think we should have kids, hubby. But why? I've never had kids before, so I don't think I can do it. Like, of course you never have kids before. Think about all the times where you discuss things with people and they say, cannot do. How many times are they focusing on the how and the what? And how many times Have they given you why they don't want to do it? Because many times they mix up the two. Many times you ask them, why don't we do it? If they are describing about resources, that's not why, it's how. Anytime they talk about resource, time, ability, and all that is the how, not the why. So I've been sharing with different groups about this very simple question to ask yourself. Why versus the how? Because as I tell people, if two-person is, I'm just giving this example because I'm assuming by statistics, most of you are not intending to become monks and nuns. Okay? But in case if all of you are, then I'll change my example. Yeah, but in the meantime, bear with me with the example. And it is, if two persons are so madly in love with each other and they want to get married. So the reason why they get married should be because they love each other. They can't imagine a life without each other. And I know it sounds very dramatic and idealistic, but I feel that if you're going to be in samsara, you're going to like get yourself down in samsara, myself do it more idealistically. Yeah? Like, yeah. Then, whatever come along are just things for you to solve. Just imagine, I've shared this many times in many classes. Imagine all the ladies, especially those who are married. Yeah, those who are not married, if you have a boyfriend, or those who are currently single and very available for more retreats. Yeah, you can just think about it also. Imagine a guy come to you. And for guys, imagine yourself proposing to your wife again. And then you say, will you please marry me? And then your wife says, like, why? Why should I marry you? Imagine if you just say, oh, because, like, Mandarin Hotel, they're having this, like, discount. Like, yeah. And it's going to expire, like, in August, so I thought, like, 2 months, like, we could sort this out. And, yeah, it's really cheap. 25% discount, like. And then I got membership, another 10%. How many of you girls would say yes? I think even if you actually intended to say yes, when you hear this kind of stupid reason, you're like, hell no. Please, how many of you are not married yet? Raise your hand. Please promise me, guys, you'll never propose to a girl in this way. And girls, never say yes to a guy who give you this kind of stupid crap reason. Like, you're going to marry a person over 20K. Like, but do you know how much 25% is? That's a good 20K. Really, my years is worth a 20K. But wait, you may say, but what if in that hypothetical situation where the couple are madly in love and they genuinely want each other, but then they don't have that 20K to get married? Then surely they can't get married. Yes, and you'll be right. If you don't have enough resources, indeed, there are some things you can't do, like throw a lavish dinner. Then maybe you can throw a smaller dinner. Or maybe you can say, okay, we can save for the dinner. But how about house? You need a house, you need a place to stay. If you don't have enough money to get a house, it doesn't mean you don't want to get married. The decision to want to get married shouldn't hinge on whether you have money to buy a house. Do you see that link? And many times people get confused, You don't have money to buy a house, then is that you cannot buy a house. You can save to buy a house later. You don't have money to go to some country for a trip. You saved for that. If you don't, as I said, if I offer you free to go to Timbuktu, you won't go even if you don't want to go, even if it's free. But of course, there are some people who are, oh, free, I go. This is what we learn in marketing actually, that you can influence people's decision because sometimes we this priority get mixed up. Yeah. You get them enough discount, they'll just think, oh yeah, I should just buy like this 50% discount, John Little. Yeah, look at where John Little is now. Where's John Little now? Gone. Yeah, because it doesn't work in the long term. You can only get people to do that so many times, Yeah. So why and how? Aspirations and wishes. Buddhism is a very unique religion, in a way strange, because while the Buddha knows very clearly that sentient beings want comfort, sentient beings want assurance, sentient beings want the easy way out, but he don't give us any of that. He don't give us simply what we wish for or desire to satisfy our whims and fancy. He don't just try to placate us, our emotions, but he tells us clearly as it is. That if you want liberation, if you want to end suffering, you need to do something with suffering. He didn't come along and just give us empty promises or just tell us that you just make a wish and then it's going to happen without your involvement. No, he don't say that. And so even in some branches of Buddhism, some schools of Buddhism, where there is this concept of other power, 他力, 自力, 他力, even then, it is not totally devoid of our involvement. In no branches of Buddhism does it say the Buddha or Bodhisattvas can just pluck us from samsara and dong, make us enlightened. For if it is possible, I'll tell you this, I'm not known for being compassionate, but even then, if I had this power, I would just put Krishna, dong, Zubing, dong, Janice, dong, Billing, dong, dong, Sean, dong, dong, dong. Just for good measure, all of you, one time, And if I, with my limited compassion, if at all, would be willing to do that, surely the Buddha would do that. But he didn't do that. He didn't do that simply because that doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. No one can just make you enlightened. So even the Tali in the Mahayana tradition, it doesn't say that you don't have to do anything and then the Buddha just... No, it doesn't work that way. So, 2 days from now, Vesak Day, I want you all to, after we do the dedication, or maybe before dedication, I want you all to just settle down your mind and ask yourself, if there's one aspiration, that you can make, that you like to make, what will it be? Maybe not just one. Maybe you can make one for like your ultimate for now. Like maybe some of you, that's so inspired, ultimate, Buddhahood. Yeah. Then maybe make one more for this life, like this life. Because statistically speaking, it's not possible. Buddhahood this life. Yeah. You can plant the seed, but you're not attaining Buddhahood in this life. Yeah. Because Buddha Dhamma is still around. Yeah. So technically, you can't. Okay? Pachika Buddhahood, going to be tricky because you already know the Dharma, so you can't also. Because in your final birth, like, you need to be born in a place where you don't hear the teachings, and then on your own attain Pachika Buddhahood. So technically, Buddhahood, Pachika Buddhahood, in this life, not possible for you. Simply because you heard me already. Next best, Arahanthood. Not bad, not bad. But that's on the high side. So you can ask yourself, in this very life, what is your goal? Okay, the ultimate, and then this life. But this life is, quite variable. Statistically speaking, all the ladies, you have up to 80 years old, 85 thereabout, 84, 85, statistically speaking. Sometimes maybe more, sometimes maybe less. Guys, you have about 80 to 82 years. Yeah, so depending on how old you are, you have number of years. So the third aspiration I would encourage you to do is make an aspiration for this year. As much as it's already May, and May is coming to an end, ask yourself, if there's something you want to accomplish by year end, what will it be? And so I want to just share with you one last thing, which is a very simple concept. I shared halfway yesterday. I shared with the Thursday class. Because on Thursday, I was having some reflection about what I have and what I need. And then later on when I was meditating, I reflected on it and I thought, what exactly do I need? And what are the things I want? And I thought to myself, if I were to ask myself, the things I want are not really the things I need. Oftentimes, the things I need are the things that I cannot live without. Yeah, like I need air, I need water, I need food. I don't need delicious food, but I need food. I want delicious food. Okay, for me, maybe chabihun. Yeah. Delicious food belongs to wants. Food is a need. Water is a need. Coffee is a want. Okay, I know a lot of you, coffee is a need. So without coffee, I'm a zombie. Yeah. So we have all kinds of material things. Yeah, and you ask yourself, what are the needs and what are the wants? Because when I reflected on it, then I realized, if I were to use this question, this very simple question, to ask myself, each time I think about something, each time I want to say something, each time I want to do something, each time I want to pursue something, then it is quite an easy barometer, for me to just check. Because in all likelihood, wants would be driven by greed, hatred, and delusion. Whereas need is more of, you need it, you don't really have a choice in it. Yeah. And I thought, that if I were to apply that internally, then, wow, it can be a very simple rule of thumb, a very simple aid for me to be really acutely aware of my own practice. Yeah. Because many times we sometimes get caught up with all the technical details, like, if I do this, is it against the precept? Does it help me my concentration? Yeah. But if you just ask this simple question, so that day after I did the reflection, I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So I shared on Thursday with the class. And then yesterday for the youth ITBW, I shared a bit, just half of it, wanted them to listen to the recording, then it started raining. So nobody could hear the recording. Yeah. So I thought perhaps this can be helpful. Because after you do the aspiration, then you got to work on it. And perhaps this set of questions can help you. Yeah. But you must be careful. Because the moment you start asking yourself this question, it's almost like no turning back, because it forces you to look at yourself. And then you start to realize, oh gosh. For me at least, it was quite liberating. Yeah. Because then you realize, oh gosh, wasting quite a bit of resources and time, energy. Mainly for me is like mental energy and things that are, yeah. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few minutes. You don't have to go into deep meditation or float out. Just as you are, you can take a piece of paper or use your handphone and just think about it. Yeah? And maybe you can raise this. We're not really using it anyway. Poor Buddha hiding behind the screen or covered by the screen. Some people ask me whether, having the statue is a necessity. Yes and no. The Buddha attained enlightenment without a Buddha image. So in principle, you don't need it. But for most people, it's a helpful focus. Yeah. So imagine, not that this statue is the Buddha, but use that as an anchor to just guide you and ask yourself, if you get to meet the Buddha, what kind of aspiration would you like to tell him? Yeah. What kind of aspiration would be worthy? If you had that one time in this life to meet the Buddha, what are you going to tell him? What aspirations will it be? Yes. Ultimate goal, then this life, and then this year. Yeah. I would strongly encourage you to write down your aspiration, because we are forgetful. Unless your aspiration is as simple as mine when I tell the Buddha, I wish that in future I have a chance to become a monk. Yeah, I forgot to be precise with the Buddha. I said in future. I forgot to add in life. Yeah. If you have any wishes, like some things that you just cannot overcome or what, you can also tell the Buddha. Of course, if it's to get iPhone 10, don't tell the Buddha. It probably doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. But if you have some challenges or difficulties that is obstructing you from your spiritual practice, I would strongly encourage you to share it with the Buddha. You'll be surprised. You have the the thing?
So, last week to back.
No.
The one is for Ulaanbaatar.
Ulaanbaatar. And of course, a word of caution, those aspirations for this year or this life, try to make it more, doable. Like after my second novice retreat, while we were still there in Catamaran Island, the bunch of us, we sat around and they all ask each other like, so what are the practices you want to do, and what are your aspirations? And all of them, I want to be Buddha, I want to be great Bodhisattva. One of them say, want to stay all the way even after Dizang-Pusa. My time, when it was my turn, I was like, I just want to attain Arahanthood. And then they were all perplexed. Why I just want to be Arahant? I didn't want to attain Buddhahood. Yeah. And they bugged me from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Refused to let me sleep. But what's even funnier is the second question, which is, what are the practices we want to carry out? And all of them said, when they go back to Singapore, when they come back, they want to do this puja, that puja, recite 金刚经, 楞严经, 大悲咒, whatever. When it's my turn, I told them, 我要吃少一点. And they're like, how lack of ambition is this guy? Yeah. I really don't have much big aspiration. Yeah. For me at that point in time, that was something that I truly saw for myself that, you don't need so much food. So, I'm not suggesting that you all should go so low like me. Yeah, I'm sure you all have greater aspiration than eating lesser. But then I made good of my aspiration, my wish to do that practice. And then I went down from 90 over kg to 70 over kg. Yeah. But it was not about losing weight. Yeah, it was about restraint. Yeah, about self-discipline. So, I hope all of you have written down. I think you all were quite conscientiously writing. Some of you have asked me, like, 师父, shall we do 传灯 light ceremony and so on? Well, the Buddhist library is having the celebration on Tuesday, so I strongly encourage you all to come down and join them for the candlelight procession and then the Buddha bathing. If we do it or you join on Tuesday, no difference, man. Just go and join them. Here. Yeah. Important thing is, after that, what you do. Yeah. Are you going to bathe the Buddha every day? Yeah. But whether you carry out your aspiration every day. Okay? So with that, I want to wish all of you happy Vesak, and may all your aspirations be fulfilled. May your wishes come true. May you be blessed with good health, happiness, and progress in the spiritual path. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛，起立。